This is why there's so many problems with the human body, because we're collecting elementals. Every time we eat something, we don't even think about eating, most of us anymore, other than, oh yeah, that tastes good, I'll have one of those. We don't think of the fact that we're eating somebody. All right? We've been desensitized, particularly in, first world countries, where you find meat as a thing in the supermarket. You totally don't remember it as a person walking around out in the backyard, because it's a lot harder to eat it if you do. Now, what is in that meat is whatever was moving with the consciousness of who walked around in that meat before it got to you. It will have elements in it. Now think of the things that they feed our cattle, the birds. Think of the conditions that so many of them live in, because they're being abused and they're being red and braised to be murdered so something else can eat them. Think how you might feel if that were being done to you or your family. If you watched your best-born children, the ones you just had a baby and they took it off and they're going to raise it, fatten it up, and in like 3 months kill it for baby beef liver. There's a violation that the animal kingdoms and the plant kingdoms, because they feel too, are experiencing when we take in the food. They have all these elemental attachments of reversed order from the phantom matrix that attach to those negative emotional patterns. We take that in, we take the elementals in that are attached to them, and we take in their sorrow and their anger and some of their patience, because they've allowed themselves to serve as lesson givers here. The animals have. They're allowing themselves to be abused, to teach certain things. I do believe personally that it wasn't our guys that got him to take that job. I don't think it had anything to do with guardians saying, okay, as a race, you animals go in there and let them abuse you so you can teach them it's not good to, to abuse animals that way. I think that was an Anunnaki setup. It sounds like one to me. Our guys would not send a race of animals in to martyr itself to teach them lessons, because what lessons are we learning? We're learning, well, do you want it medium rare, well done, you want it seasoned, barbecued? That's about all we're learning. It's not just the animals that we pick up elementals from. Plants. There's a lot of funny things going around with like food in this day and age. You have like your vegan movements that are like, oh, you eat animals, how terrible, they have souls, Excuse me, plants do too, Huh? They do? Yeah. Usually people that are vegetarian think that they're sparing a soul. They're not doing a violation against a thing by eating it without asking. And they think it's okay because they think animals are one thing and plants are a different thing. They don't recognize the consciousness that's in the plants. And the fact that if you're going to eat a plant, you might as well eat an animal, because you're taking on the same stuff. You're taking on elementals that are twisted from the plant body. You're also taking on a karmic debt. You've just fed off something. When you think about the Weesadeks and how they put energy cords into our matrix, and without asking are sucking life force energy to sustain themselves, you can think of those cords as well in terms of what's inside our bodies, our digestive systems. We put things in our mouth without asking who lived in there. We rarely ask a piece of meat if it wanted to be a piece of meat for us to consume. We rarely ask a vegetable, even less do we ask a vegetable. We weren't originally vampires. Right now, we are behaving as vampires. It's not our natural condition. We're breatharians by nature. When we begin to purge the mutation, it's going to take a number of generations to do that. Probably about you just said fully about 5,000 years of evolving the form back to its pure form. But the breatharian form has different stuff inside of it. If you don't eat stuff the way we eat stuff, you don't need stomachs, right? Or all the other icky stuff that goes with internal organs here that way. So we're evolving back into that. In the meantime, if we can, now, if you just stop eating right now, because I don't want to be an energy vampire, I refuse to be, first of all, you're not loving yourself, which means you're not identifying with the reality that you're in right now. You have to love it before you can fix it. Love is an interesting word. Love is a state of vibrational harmonization. In physics terms, that is love, where a frequency goes like this and another one goes like this, and they're in perfect harmonization. When you love something, it means you have to become one with it. True love. Once you become one with it, you have the power to change it, to shift it. But as long as we resist our shadow, or resist the elements, or decide we're never going to eat again because we're killing something every time we do, you're not going to be able to heal any of that pattern. If you can just be aware of the fact that there's huge violation taking place here of the plant and animal and mineral kingdoms and chemical kingdoms, and just put out the intention that it is understood, and it is understood by them, and their Christos levels, that right now they can help us. They're not going to hold it against us that right now our bodies they still need to eat. We will physically die if we don't have some degree of sustenance. Usually we could go for 3 months with no food and just a little bit of water, we'd actually be okay, but it wouldn't feel very good. Because you'd have to go through DTs, like getting off heroin. Getting off food's even worse, where everything hurts, where the body starts to eat itself alive, it doesn't know what to do with itself. Oh help, all the elementals go crazy because they don't have anything to feed off of anymore. We don't need to put ourselves through that to be respectful of the things, the other beings that we're eating. But we need to realize we're in a co-creation situation. Next time you sit down and look at a piece of meat or a vegetable, say thank you to it, not to God. God already is thanked. God doesn't need to say thank you, thank you. Say thank you to the being who just gave itself to you. And say, is there anything I can do to help you? And one of the first things that if you start to listen to vegetables especially, they'll say, yes, there is. Run the higher frequency through my body form. It'll not only help you when you take it in, it will set the parts of themselves elementally trapped so they can go up to a higher level of evolution. So if we can eat consciously, we can eat graciously.